everyone was doing like their own porn site. And I remember one called
People do
itself
that
the Quicker.
now.
Yeah, but this was like the days of bad web design, and so like one website advertised itself as the Quicker Dicker Pecker Upper.
I don't know what to say about that either.
I miss that. Like I miss the days where you could type in any random fucking word into the URL bar, and there was a website for it. Like 10-year-old, 13-year-old me thought that stupid.com was the funniest fucking thing in the world.
I don't remember. What does that say? I forget one of those sites out there that had like a whole bunch of gifs on it, and used to constantly watch them, and it'd take forever to load the gif.
Newgrounds.
Yeah, I think it was Newgrounds,
Probably.
or one a
And
site that was also like that. There was a couple out there that I went to.
oh, there were a few. Yeah, the Newgrounds is the one that had the fake porn. There was Newgrounds. There was
E-bombs.
E-bomb. Yeah, we
Yep.
both
There it
uh,
is.
E-bomb. Back in the days of fetcher.
Yeah, classics. Classics. So technically, I did kind of start the podcast because I turned streaming on.
What's this?
This would have been what year would that have been? Like 2004, 2005?
Maybe
Something like that?
2007. Maybe it's.
No.
Well, you gotta realize it's 2017. 2007
Yeah,
was 10 years ago.
we were in high school when that stuff was out. Middle school.
I was gonna say middle school.
Yeah, so it would have been before 2000.
Yeah, because graduated in 2005. Damn,
I
old.
in 06.
Fucking youngin.
Wait,
I graduated in 06.
from what?
High school.
Life.
I'm a baby.
So my guest tonight is how old?
23.
23.
It's a child. That's against the law, Andrew.
Hey, I said guest. We're fully clothed. Thank you.
There's no webcam on your side to prove that.
No matter how much you beg.
Yeah, I don't want to have to set up another webcam on this, so you're good as gold. I'll never ask. I will never ask. I am looking for a picture. A picture. Because I don't want. I'm going to tweet out that I'm doing this, but I don't want to use the stupid Twitch one because it keeps pulling like the last picture I upload as my profile picture. It never pulls the first one, the one I'm using. It always pulls the next one, and I don't understand that. And I don't really care because I'll just work around that problem. Oh, I know what I can do. A picture I found on Imager.
See? All fully clothed.
Okay.
You just sent a nude.
It's one of your old ones.
Oh, God. How many people you
got
got
you.
there?
Me, Maddie, and my guest.
Okay, well, wasn't sure.
3.
You get progressively blurry as humans as the picture goes backwards. So you're kind of blurry, middle's somewhat blurry, then the back is just a blur.
Sucks for you.
Sometimes.
Only if you pay extra.
It's true. It's very true. I'm pretty sure in town there's one of the plazas. There's something pond. It's a massage shop. It's like a massage place. I'm pretty sure they give happy endings. It looks like that kind of place. I mean, very much it looks like that kind of place.
We need some investigative journalism. Go up there.
Well, someone's got to do it. I guess I'll be the one.
I can't. I'm in Georgia.
That's what you just.
Or if you really want to find out, you can always just go over to Bill's truck stop and pick up a lot of it.
They do have happy endings there.
Exactly.
This place is possibly. We don't need. We've already confirmed the other place. We need to confirm this one.
Wait, have we confirmed the other place, Allison?
I mean, everybody knows that joke for this town, so it's got to be true. All things said in jest.
One of our teachers in high school, I won't say who, actually said, "No, that's for real."
Exactly.
What are you talking about?
A white lizard. It's a prostitute that hangs out at truck stops.
That's amazing.
Yeah. They're always not the prostitute you want to have. Hence the name Lizzie.
Can't be picky.
The reason they're called lizard is because of the rashes they have looking like scales. Yeah. You got guys coming in from all over the country passing through.
Just close your eyes and think of something better.
Just lean back and think of England.
I was just about to say that.
Now I gotta find all the Twitch 3 streamers that we're gonna use. Twitch free stream Twitch stream Twitch share, Twitch this, Twitch that.
I'm twitching.
There we go. So this is like the most lackluster entrance to our third episode, but who cares? I'll add the music in post. I mean, had a real entrance in post. Either way. 2 viewers. Pretty sure one of them's you, and probably do you have a second device watching it? Alright. Okay. Let's see if anybody responded. Someone says, I think Twitch is down. No, it's not. Your internet is. Alright, I'll let you take the first topic. Because I can.
Alright.
Because I'm going to be busy playing a game while we do this.
Well, that's fine.
I'm going to name the... So, I can name the characters. So, Andrew... You're going to be the... I don't know what this character is. Oh, great. Now
What?
You've already coughed 3 times in class and you're trying not to cough again.
Alright. I'm going to name this one Asia because I can use my... So what was your friend's name? What was... Sorry, if you mentioned I completely forgot already.
I don't think I mentioned. I just said
Don't think
I
you
have
did.
a guest.
What's
No,
your
you
guest's
didn't.
name? Introduce them!
What's your name?
I'm Michaela.
Don't know how to spell that, so I'm just going to put what I think it is.
Here, I will
Hello.
send it to you.
And you're probably still going to get it wrong.
I put M-C-E-L-L-A.
Wow.
I haven't had that spelling yet. I'll have to add that to the list.
Better than.
How do you pronounce your last name? Bengi? Benji? Bengay? Smith?
Bueller?
No one gets my name right. And when they do, I'm just like. You are the chosen one.
Being Temple, occasionally I get Pimple. Did you say Pimples? No, that's a horrible name. Why would someone have that as a last name? Okay, so we are crewed on our ship. We're going to try to survive space. We're going to put it on easy because I suck at this game. And it's not that easy. But it has a pause button. Alright.
Well, what's going up on my TV?
Well, it takes a second.
No, like. I closed it and I'm opening it again. Because I do subscribe to you and I'm signed in on the TV.
Hey, Moonlight Devil 27 in the chat. What's
there you
up?
are.
Is that one of you or is that someone else?
That ain't me.
You're part of the
Hey.
show.
You look a lot like Mark Wahlberg all of a sudden.
Who? Who?
You.
Mark
You.
Wahlberg?
Yeah.
He's
Marky
got
Mark.
money. He owns a
He's
burger
walking-
place, doesn't he?
He's in a burger place and there's a guy full of arrows complaining about
Damn.
That
it.
bastard.
And he just got carried out.
All right, so Andrew, you're the pilot. Michaela,
Okay.
you are in weapons right now, and I'm in the engine room. See how
Now
well this
you're
goes.
There we go.
Alright, we're gonna jump around here and try not to die. It's a very difficult thing to do
I've
in
seen
life.
you play. You're not going to succeed.
No, we're gonna die. Our characters are not gonna survive for very long.
It's funny watching you down in the corner because there's like a clear delay. Like I'm speaking right now, but your mouth is moving like crazy.
Yeah, you can't go by video of anything because there is a delay. I even have it turned off the lower the delay, but there's still a delay.
Uh-huh. So like make a motion with your hand. Like, oh, now you're gaping at the screen like, ah. And now you're like gesturing magnificently and talking again. Are you clapping? What is that?
Oh, it's ninja moves, you bastard. Is this his first
there we go.
topic?
There's the ninja moves. And then you did a little hi afterwards. Yeah, now you're playing the game. Are we recording already or?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
God, we're dying already. You're on fire, Andrew. Dear Lord.
You didn't do your open. You didn't do your
We'll do that in post. It's too late now.
Hate you.
Hold on, we're already dying, so I need to get a handle of this situation. Alright.
It's because I'm here.
Alright, let's
Well-
see here.
I expected. Well, if you're going to do it in post, just say, "All right, now we're recording."
And now we are recording. We're doing it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
I use that sound bit all the time in my work podcast. Alright, so Michaela, I'm going to send you up to help Andrew put out the fire. I'll see how this goes. Oh God, there's more fire!
I'll just put this over here with the other.
Alright. Stupid me, I didn't turn weapons on. I should be shooting at them by now. This has already gone real well. Alright. We're shooting. Ah, no, shooting at the engine now. Oh, we're fucked. This is a quick one. The fire is out.
Yay!
But nothing else is going. Andrew's nearly dead.
Yeah.
Pilot's gotta go down with the ship. Wow, this is like getting exceedingly harder since the last time I played. Goodness gracious. It really has.
Man.
So you have control of the first topic, and you have not. What? Alright, I gotta restart.
You've been playing this so long. It wouldn't have been going so fast.
Oh, wait, good. I don't have to read through the names. Okay.
So,
Oh my.
we're going tomorrow to see Ninja Sex Party in Atlanta.
And it's literally a ninja sex party.
I wish. One of the lead singer in the band is Danny Sexbang,
Game Grump.
and Ninja Brian. That's why it's called Ninja Sex Party.
That would be a good
I am-
reason. Someone's gotta be the ninja person in the situation.
I'm really looking forward to this. We've been planning this for what, 2 months?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be.
We bought tickets the day they came out, and they still sold
We
out.
still sold out in
Like
Charlotte.
we tried to get them in Charlotte, and they sold out in Charlotte before we could even get a chance.
Is it like just that small a show, or are they that popular?
Yeah, it's that popular.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
How often do that?
No, I think this is their first national tour.
It is.
Yeah.
I remember saying that.
Alright, our crew has survived its first encounter with an enemy ship. We all survived it.
You did.
Yay!
This is Ninja Sex Party. I'm sending you an image. The two in the front, the one with the blue leotard and the one with the ninja mask, are the two in the band, and the 4 people in the back, I guess, are the rest of the band that I've never heard of.
Neither.
That is a very interesting picture.
Isn't it? So that's Danny Sexbang.
I should do this. I'll do a display capture.
Oh, here's a good picture of them.
Oh my god.
So the
I-
stream can
honestly-
see it.
Here's a better picture of them.
So how many people are in this band?
Just the two that I know of.
I guess the rest are just like backing.
As I
Yeah.
say, what's up with the other people in it?
And they have a second band that's the exact same band plus one other guy. I can't remember the name of that one.
Isn't that Scarpness?
Maybe he
Yeah.
is truly
Yeah,
the
Starbomb.
ninja. 'Cause you don't know
We
he
saw
is.
it with Tupperware Remix Party.
So Starbomb is the other band. It's just them plus one other guy.
That's crazy.
Isn't it?
I mean, it looks crazy.
Oh, here's the picture of them.
Oh my god.
Here you go. Try not to get too turned on when you see this one, okay?
I see that as a challenge.
Do not, we don't want your panties getting soaked with horny.
I feel tingly already. What? It's a guitar. For a second, I was like, is that a penis?
He's holding it suggestively on purpose.
I mean, and it's like kind of glowing, it looks like. I mean,
Somebody
mean,
made a
those-
Danny Sexbank character in a wrestling game.
Of course they did.
How the hell did they pull that off?
God.
Had to. Oh, he's got the sauce.
alright, let's see. How's the crew doing? They're all good. Not dead. We're successfully fighting off this ship, too, so we're all good here. We're all good here. Okay. But, okay, so I'm gonna choose a subject, because I think... Here's one I love to argue with people. It's not really arguing, but since we're playing as... Well, I'm playing, and you guys are all watching a spaceship game. What movie do you consider, or TV show, the most reasonable spaceship for, like, the next 50 or 100 years? Or maybe even, I'd say, less than 100, say 70. What movie or TV show had the most reasonable spaceship that we could achieve?
That we could achieve?
Yeah, humans.
Interstellar.
Yeah, I mean, see, that's the bad thing is the last time I had, like, a discussion about this was well before that movie ever came out, so... But yeah, I mean, okay, now go towards more sci-fi-ish. Because that's more almost... I don't know, I don't know what kind of category to put that
Here's
in.
the thing. There's two versions of this conversation we could have, and we should absolutely have both. The first question is, what's the most likely one to build? And that's the Millennium Falcon. Maybe not the speed, but like everything else. It's small, it gets around, and it's not really all that fancy. It's referred to as a junker even in its heyday. It's the closest we'll get in our lifetime. But what we should be aiming for is the Enterprise.
Yeah, I don't think the Enterprise, you know, we're not going to ever get that until
Yeah, no.
ever. I mean, that's going to be literally in the 24th century.
Yeah, but it's of all the sci-fi ships I know of, at least, it's the most powerful one. Like, put that up against the fucking Death Star.
But we're not talking power, we're talking realisticness.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that's what we should be aiming for. Versus, now if you're talking military might, we could probably pull off something similar to a Death Star in a much smaller form. With satellites. Just fucking hang satellites in orbit. Wait for them to pass over a target, and then...
See, here's my suggestion, and most people think this is hilarious. Maybe. So, you're familiar with the Wing Commander series? Not just necessarily the movie, but the games and all that stuff.
Nope.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So Wing Commander was a popular game on the Super Nintendo, and PlayStation, and there was a horrible movie. Most people think it's horrible. I kind of liked it. With Freddie Prinze Jr. and... Oh, God, I can't remember the other guys. He was Scooby-Doo in the Scooby-Doo movies.
Yeah.
They had, I think, the most realistic, like, battleship that we could possibly have. I'm going to pull a picture up and I'm going to put it in the stream. There's one of it blowing up. That ain't going to help. Here it is. View image. So, in the stream, that's, I believe it should be the Tiger Claw. Their ships are based on, like, submarines almost. They're like space submarines. Which I think would be the most realistic thing they could do with them. Because why couldn't a submarine idea just work in space?
I mean, it's more or less the same thing, but the problem is you couldn't take a submarine and put rockets on it and expect it to work the same in space because they're made for two separate things. And so Futurama made the joke when the Planet Express ship went underwater and then met the mermaids in that one episode. Professor says the ship wasn't meant to handle this many atmospheres of pressure. They say, well, how many atmospheres of pressure can it handle? Well, it was designed to handle the vacuum of space, so anywhere between 0 and 1.
But couldn't technically then, if something that's made to handle that pressure, work the opposite in space, not from space to water?
I mean, it could, but you could make any shape in space. Like the Borg cube is equally efficient in space as a submarine shape. Because you don't have the friction of things around you, like the air, water, whatever.
It ain't
slowing
got
that
no
down.
friction.
So, honestly, the Borg cube, while silly looking, is equally efficient.
Fuck the Borg.
Resistance is futile, so. And let's be fair,
That's what
you're
your mom
a
said.
Star Wars fan. You're a Star Wars fan, mostly, right?
I like to consider myself bisexual in that matter. I wouldn't say sexual, I
Bisexual?
guess. Bi. Something. Bi, What?
Bisexual.
Yeah, I'm bisexual.
It's already a thing. Voltaire has an entire album about it.
I appreciate both universes.
So let's take the advice of an Asian homosexual. Let's put our cares aside and be bisexual.
I mean, they both have good things. I don't get why people always choose sides on them.
Well, let's, for this argument, choose sides. You'll take Star Wars because you know it better, and I'll go with Star Trek. So, efficiency speaking, like, if you had to choose one of those two worlds to live in because of ships alone, you'd be a fucking idiot to choose anything other than the Star Trek universe. Like, first of all, you don't have warring factions.
Oh, I gotta interrupt. Bad news. We have intruders on the ship, and Andrew, you're getting your ass handed to you. Like I'm setting you up there to help, but I don't know if it's gonna. Oh crap! There's two more in another room. Well, we are fucked. They just beat up our medical bay. Oh, Andrew, you're probably going to die. Just heads up on that.
So
I'm gonna flood the ship with space. Oh no! You died first. I forgot to move you.
So, somebody was saying, if you had a fight between the Enterprise and the Millennium Falcon wins, no question.
Millennium
So,
Falcon and what?
The Enterprise wins, Next Generation, we'll say.
Well, I mean, the Millennium Falcon has, like, superior maneuverability.
But it doesn't have superior firepower, shielding, size difference. It's a ship made for a smuggler going up against a naval vessel full of highly trained individuals who spend their spare time coming up with fun ways to destroy ships. And
update on the crew: we all died. Just heads up, we're dead.
Who?
Things aren't looking good. We're floating through space as corpses.
Thanks, Allison.
Yeah. Don't have me command your ship. I will lead you to death.
Like, so.
It changed the names. There's Mr. Booga.
So, like, the possibility of a real world version of the Millennium Falcon versus the Enterprise would be like a battle destroyer, like the biggest ship the Navy's fucking got, going up against a fucking 80 with a guy in an AK-47. Like, yeah, he's got more maneuverability, but motherfucker ain't making it 40 feet before he's dead.
Okay, not go that to like battle route. Okay, what universe would you choose when it comes to like living conditions and, you know?
The fucking Enterprise still wins. They have the ability to replicate food. They don't have that much trouble with their government. In fact, the government's running pretty fucking smoothly. They don't have a monetary system because they don't fucking need money anymore. Because you can replicate food whenever you want. And what
But they do interact with cultures that do have money.
Right, but they interact with cultures because they want to fucking explore. They're not out there, you know, trying to fucking survive anymore. They've already survived.
They got it
and
down,
made it.
yo.
Yeah, whereas in Star Wars, even when they fucking got rid of the Empire, oh look, the First Order. We can't get shit right. We can't even kill the bad guys properly. They're like fucking cockroaches. They will just come back. What's the worst problem that the Enterprise ever runs into? The Borg. And the Borg are fucking simple to destroy half the time. Like, oh no, they've adapted to our weapons. Oh, it's a good thing we got Geordi. If we ever lose Geordi to the Borg, we're fucked. As long as we've got him, we are fine.
Okay, so I'll agree with you. I would rather live in the economy world and like of Star Trek. That does sound so much better. But Star Wars is more realistically what our world would be towards that
Wait,
time
really?
period.
The world full of space wizards with lightsabers?
Yes.
The-
Yes.
Do you know how impossible the lightsaber is?
I see more of a chance of that happening than money being not needed anymore.
No.
Oh, come
Like,
on, you know. You
If
know.
you've got a system where food is no longer needed because you can replicate it, farming is unnecessary. Without farming, you have like the basic building blocks of economy destroyed. So where do you go from there? You can't. You have to just get rid of the idea of monetary necessity, and you just do things for the sake because you don't have any struggle. All struggle starts with farming because you got to struggle to grow the fucking food. If you can replicate food, you can replicate medicine, you can replicate alcohol, you can replicate materials. The only person who has to work for a living is the guy pushing the replicator button to replicate replicators.
The only question is this: where do all the dishes go that they replicate?
Presumably, they put them back into the replicator machine.
Is there a disposal next to it that breaks it down and back into like atoms and stuff so it can be reprocessed?
Well, I mean, that's all the transporter does. And that right there, that's what, like, you don't even have to have a fucking gunfight between the Enterprise and any ship in Star Wars. What's the Death Star's main weakness? Oh, one little exhaust port? We don't need that. We'll just use the teleporter to drop a fucking nuke right next to the engine and blow the whole fucking place up before they fire off 2 shots.
But see, we're not like comparing where they're fighting each other. You're jumping to conclusions on there. We're talking about both of them separate worlds. They couldn't
Oh,
never.
I
You
know.
can't combine them because that's just plain wrong.
Well, if you combine them, the Star Wars universe just fucking fails automatically. The only real fight in Star Wars would be the Jedi versus the Borg. And all the Borg have to do is send waves of people after them, get one Jedi, assimilate him, and they fucking win. Because Borg-
But think of this: I bet you the Star Wars universe has forgotten more technology and advancements than Star Trek has ever had.
I doubt it. Because you never really see them talk about advancements in technology.
Yeah, because they lost it.
They're just all whining about, oh, the Empire.
I mean, look
oh.
from episodes 1, 2, and 3 to 4, 5, and 6. How much they had lost right in between that short period of time.
Man.
And the Old Republic stuff was a lot better. I mean, good lord, imagine what that universe is thousands of years old. Who knows what was what they're doing before that? It probably was Star Trek. Maybe Star Wars is what happened when Star Trek's world like collapsed and went into anarchy and eventually turned into Star Wars. Think of that one.
I'm just saying, like, if you have a straight up fight between Hell,
But there's
you
never
even
going to be a straight up fight. That does not exist.
hell. A
In our imaginary
roundabout-
world, it does not exist.
a simple roundabout can defeat the Death Star.
Well,
Because again, you don't even need to have the like. First of all, they have shielding. No one in Star Wars has fucking shielding. They have photon torpedoes. They got phasers. All that guy has to do is get down in the trench, turn on the shield, fly up to the vent, and take his time just firing as many shots as he wants.
okay, so we got two more things. So, Cooper dropped a question, well, not kind of a question, but a statement. So, Star Trek Discovery, is that the. I don't think I know anything about that. But before we jump to that, I want to make a funny comment. So, was it Star Trek? I don't think it was Generations. I forget which one it is. The one where Picard goes into their. They followed a Borg sphere to the past, and they have to stop them from simulating all of Earth. And the Borg start taking over the Enterprise. So they go on the holodeck, and he uses a Thompson to take down a bunch of Borg. So if they know bullets destroy the Borg, why are they not using bullets to stop them? They could end the battle immediately, just over.
Because the Borg adapt to whatever weaponry you use on them.
They apparently can't adapt to a bullet.
Well, no, they did adapt to the bullet afterwards.
I call BS.
But they
Yeah, proof?
hadn't
Huh?
encountered. They hadn't encountered actual bullets at that point, so they're just like.
Star Trek
Yeah.
First Contact. Yep, you're right. Prequel series 10 years before Kirk and Spock series. So how far is it before the Enterprise series? Is it like a lot further? Talking to the chat.
Yeah.
If
Well, First Contact would have had to take place.
well, I'm not talking about First Contact, the new show, Discovery.
Oh, I don't know. Well,
I-
Enterprise took place right after First Contact would have taken place because it was the activating of the warp drive that attracted the Vulcans to Earth, and that's when Enterprise starts. So, or shortly thereafter. So anything that takes place before Kirk would have been still 100 years or more after First Contact.
I don't know. I just want another like regular Star Trek series. I know people trash Voyager, but I enjoyed Voyager. I liked Kate Mulgrew. I thought it was a good. First season was kind of but after that, I think I enjoyed it.
Voyager was alright. Like, it's okay to watch one time through, but it's hard to revisit.
Good old Chakotay. And I don't know if they ever connected. The actor that played Tuvok was in other stuff, other Star Trek stuff, but I don't think his character was the same person.
No, he wasn't.
It's kind of
was also-
disappointing.
He was also the principal on iCarly.
That's not set in the Star Trek universe.
No,
Or is
but
it?
it's fun.
So random.
Hey,
All right, we're gonna get the crew back up and going. Let's see.
I think what we can all agree on, though, is back to the ruined series or the franchise.
Did you hear that? That's my cat calling for sex.
Can't hear anything.
Good. You're not getting any. Her only male cat's been fixed, so all he can do is dry hump. And he does that occasionally. It's very sad.
Why not get him fixed?
Well, that's a little late. You can't
No.
just put them back.
You get a haircut, or is your hair up?
No.
Can't tell. Not down around your shoulders, so it looks like it's either cut or up.
It's cut off.
When'd you do that?
Friday, I think. Or Saturday.
Oh, looks good.
Thank you. So much damn cooler. That's so much
Yeah.
better.
I cut my hair for the same reason, and that's when I discovered I was bald. I was like, well, time to shave it.
Yeah, no, I just, just needed to cut it. I'm not gonna go bald.
Describe your crush with a movie title. Taken.
I don't know, maybe. Well, I know she's in. Well, she could want attention. She sticks her butt in the air, so I'm, usually I take that as wanting to get fucked, but it could mean other things. I don't know.
And when I stick my butt in the air, it's usually because
You have an insane amount of gas you need to get rid of.
or because I'm sleeping.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Okay. Back on topic. Let's see. I had another subject up there. What? Home smart devices with screens and cameras.
Such as like Alexa or
Yeah, because doesn't Alexa's coming out with a screen? It doesn't have a camera on it too. I know it has a screen they have coming out, but
I guess that's cool.
I mean, one thing I think stupid about it is like I have a Google Home,
Uh-huh.
and I'm never looking at it when I'm talking to it. Never.
Right.
Because usually I'm like on the other side of the room or I'm yelling at it from the hallway.
Well, I'm thinking it could be helpful for people who have hearing impairments.
Oh, screw them.
You heard it here first.
What? Everybody likes to get screwed. It's not an insult. Alright, the crew's been named. We're heading out again.
I'm thinking it's for the handicap.
I don't know. It's interesting, but I don't
Is that what happened to you?
What?
Is that what happened? You got in the car yesterday, like.
No.
Oh man. So, have I told the story about the time I donated sperm?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Do regale us with this story of you depositing in a bank.
I didn't say it was in a bank.
Oh, well.
This wouldn't be funny if it were just a normal. Yeah, I went to a little building and beat off and then left. No, that's not funny.
Although the way you just described that, you could technically do that in any building.
They paid me to leave.
You could have went to Subway and did that. I mean,
Yeah. So, friend of mine's sister
that's what it always starts as.
wanted to have a baby, but because of some problems she had when she was younger, she had trouble being intimate with men. So they told her it would be ridiculously expensive to actually get semen from a sperm bank, but they could give her for real cheap $20 or something like that the kit to do an artificial insemination herself. Well, it's like a turkey baster, but it's just like a hose with a suction cup at one end that you.
Couldn't technically you just use like a turkey baster?
No. So this is a safer, cleaner method.
Well, I didn't say use the the turkey baster on a nice roast or something first.
Yeah, but you don't go to the store and pick up something and just assume that it's clean either. So she did that.
What? I should have been cleaning those cucumbers this entire time?
Yeah.
Oh,
And so my friend's like,
that's why I got a garden
hey,
growing in
you
there.
know who's a decent guy and would be willing to help? My friend Andrew. So they call me up and like, hey, are you willing to drive up into Virginia and donate sperm to help my sister get pregnant?
It's like, yes, this is my dream come true.
And I was like, okay. So we had like a contract written up that said I would not try to sue for custody. She would not try to sue for child support. And, I would donate the sperm for her baby. So she's like, I'll cover the price of everything. I'll get you a hotel room and everything. You stay the weekend. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm fine.
Stay the weekend to practice so you can get ready for the big game.
Well, no, like, it was the old-fashioned way of doing things, not the sex way.
Would that be the old-fashioned way? Would it be the other way around?
No. The old-fashioned way of donating versus the old-fashioned way of implanting. So I get up there to the hotel that she has reserved for me, and I should have known something was off when the hand-painted sign out front said rooms $28.53 a night. And I was like, that is such a weirdly specific amount. You know, like not $28.50, not $29, not $30, $28.53. Like shit happened for you to come down to that fucking price. And then I pull up into the parking lot, and every one of the rooms has an old-fashioned like window unit air conditioner sticking out of the wall where it had been permanently affixed.
Oh, you talking about like the ones you put in like house rooms or something, or?
Like in the window, yeah, like the window unit.
Oh.
You know, that you put in when the air conditioner in your central air breaks. Every room has one of those. I'm like, ah, shit. I pull in, I get my room, I go up to the room, and it is the jungle room. It has been decorated, every available surface, with, well, first of all, let's rewind to the office. Inside the front office, they have dolls, like porcelain dolls, on every available surface, crammed in so that you have a like half-foot wide walkway to get to the desk. What's not taken up by dolls is taken up by homemade jams and jellies in jars. And I'm just looking at all this shit like, what the fuck have I walked into? And I get to the desk, I get my room, I go up to the room, and it's wall to wall jungle theme. And I'm just like, what the hell? There's an elephant lamp. There is a giant 7-foot by 7-foot fan, like the folding paper fans, hanging above the bed. So from one end to the other is 14 feet long, which is the exact width of this single bed. This bed was not made for like a family to share. This was an orgy bed.
The orgy bed.
Yeah, like it was clearly designed for having orgies, and like you could easily fit 10 people on this bed comfortably.
Yeah.
The only channels the TV got was the local Christian televangelist network, Fox News, and Nickelodeon.
Of course, Nickelodeon.
And
That's what all orgies happen to.
all the like statuettes of tigers and shit have little hand crocheted doilies underneath them. So I'm just looking around like, oh my god, what have they gotten me into? I text my friend, I'm like, I'm at my room. And they're like, oh, did you get the teddy bear room? I'm like, what the fuck is the teddy bear room? And they said, well, apparently they have a room there that is stuffed with teddy bears all over the bed, all over the dresser, all over the tables, everywhere. And I'm like, no, I sure as hell didn't get that. I got better than that, but not much. So we're already off to a great start, right?
So they knew about this room. So have they used this place before?
No, they lived in town there, and that was just the cheapest hotel they could afford. So they come over, and instead of just me going in the bathroom, walking out, and here you go, we decided to just chill out and talk for about 3 hours first, go out and get dinner. And so for some reason we discussed little Tiny Tim. Don't know who Tiny Tim is. He's a musician that you would never, ever, ever leave your children alone with. I guarantee you've heard him before. So I'm just going to pull up one of his videos, send it to you, and you can play this. But you may have heard him on SpongeBob.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
So we're sitting
Ladies
there
and gentlemen,
playing this guy's
Mr.
music
Tiny
all night,
Tim.
and then I have to go in the bathroom and spank it, right?
So
You know,
this was playing, or this person was?
we were talking about this person, and we played his music a few times before I went to the bathroom to do what I was there for. And so I'm sitting there trying to get it up while having that playing in my mind, and like jerk off. It was impossible. Like I had to force it in the end, like just, yeah. And if you've ever given a urine sample, like at the doctor's office, you always walk out like, "Here's my pee." You know, you always feel a little embarrassed by that.
Did you say
That's
this is my
nothing.
pee? Wait, hold on. I don't think you're doing it right.
No. If you go to a doctor and you have to give a urine sample,
Oh, okay.
it's always this humiliating moment.
Give them a
That's
tall,
fucking-
frothy
Yeah,
glass.
yeah, you're like Jeff Foxworthy had a great bit. I'm like, oh, you feel it because they're gonna laugh at me if I bring that much out. You pour some out, they're gonna need more than that to top it off. You know, and you just go out there.
Just do a Jeff Foxworthy bit.
Yeah, it's so you think that's bad? Try walking out and handing someone a cup of your own cum.
I mean, at least you weren't doing it like in front of a bunch of people. I mean, was there a crowd there? Did people applaud when you come out?
Yeah, no, they had already gone down to their car. And so not only did I have to walk out of the bathroom into the living room, I had to walk down a like hallway and set of stairs to the parking lot, carrying a cup of jizz. And so,
So how big was this cup of jizz? I mean, was it a lot, or I mean,
why was this normal amount of jizz?
there's
You know?
oh goodness gracious. Well, I'm gonna jump in while you're paused on your jizz. We've got a new challenger here, Julian. He's going to join us for our conversation, and maybe have some
Hello.
comments about jizz. I don't know.
Jizz.
It's like glue sometimes.
I guess I can attest to that. You know, it's kind of gluish.
That's how you derail a conversation. All right. We'll move on from Andrew's jizz. So you handed this off, and
Yeah, it was a little awkward. We did it again the next morning, and I'm just like, as soon as I handed her that cup, I threw all my shit in the cart and got the fuck out of there. Because it was the worst, like, awkward feeling. I don't think she got pregnant from it, and a friend and I had a falling out shortly thereafter, so I don't know if she ever got a kid, but there's just something like, here's a cup of my cum. Have fun sticking that inside your vagina.
that's definitely an interesting story.
You don't know how awkward it is.
Was this?
Go ahead.
I kind of came in late for this one. You know,
You don't need
is this more along the lines of someone that was wanting to get pregnant or something along those lines?
Sure, we'll go with that. Definitely
They
wasn't
want you
an
to be
old
like a
man
donor
paying-
or something.
Definitely wasn't an old man paying me $500 in a seedy bathroom at a hotel.
Now, which one did you prefer?
Oh yeah.
Well, with the creepy old man, I would have at least gotten paid.
That's
I told you
true.
last time we did an episode, I was in porn one time. Not only did I not get paid for that porn video, I didn't even get a free copy of the video.
That's ridiculous. You got stiffed.
Wow.
I really did. She did too. But
See,
But it,
Google is 18 years old now. Hey Google.
so
technically, it's allowed. You can look at porn
I've
officially.
got to ask how. I've got to ask how you even got into the porn video. What did you have to do and whatnot? You know.
A friend of mine did porn. And just sent me a message one day. I was like, "Hey, when you're in town next, you want to do a video?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?" So
They must have had a
have
shit
you-
budget or something.
she probably did. Like, I was also the fucking cameraman. I doubt she had money to be spending on a decent fucking shoot.
So it was super amateur.
Oh, the best part was when the fucking light fell on her head. Like, she's trying to string the lights up and they just fall at one point.
A
And so
cheap
she
bastard
goes-
of a porn.
She was just like,
Sup, Chamundra cat?
And she was just like, that'll do.
You know,
So-
sometimes people that produce
Oh,
content just
God,
gotta get it to
that's-
work as they got it to work. I am out of topics on mine, so I'm gonna let you talk about something else other than your jizz, Andrew.
So,
Oh, our crew on our ship's still alive. I forgot about them.
oh, yay.
Let's jump to another place.
Well, yeah, they survived quite a long time when you pause the game.
No, we made it to a different system. We've made it to we've survived for quite a bit this round.
As far as what I can see right now, it's still paused. We are safe.
I just
Not-
unpaused it, so
There
we're
we go.
dangerous territory now. We're in dangerous
There we
territory.
go.
See, I need to find a place where I can pick up another person so I can add Julian into our crew. Uh-oh. Zoltan Research Facility needs a...
There's nothing better than a woman searching out a third person to add to her crew.
Isn't that how life is?
See how porn starts?
So what
That's
is,
true.
what is the game that's being played?
It's FTL, Faster Than Light. It's like a top-down kind of spaceship game. Oh, look, I can hire a crew member. All right, Julian, you want to be a an alien green blob or a human blob?
I mean, I'm already kind of a human blob as it is, so let's go with that.
Good, it's cheaper also. I can afford it. All right. I wonder if I
Oh,
can-
okay.
Can I rename him? No, you just have to be called Bajorn. So you are Bajorn.
The Jorn. All right.
I'm gonna put you to work in the shields. So just keep that in mind. Don't get us killed. If we die, it's your fault, not mine.
That sounds
anymore.
Oh God, I have no control over this.
Uh-oh. So it says you find a number of ships fleeing from a small space station. You hail them asking what's wrong. Help! We're being overrun by some sort of giant alien spiders. Send a crew to help. Giant alien spiders are no joke. Leave them alone. They are on their own. See them. I'm out of here. Oh, there's a store.
Sure
Okay.
you don't want to Leroy Jenkins your way into it?
Fuck no! We'll end up losing somebody, and who knows who will lose. Alright. Trying to think of... I'm going to trash some people. If any of you are drivers that, look at your phone. The funniest thing is, so I ride a motorcycle a lot, and you tend to look at people when you drive by them. It's a habit. And everybody that uses their phone looks like they're looking at their crotch. It really does.
Uh-huh.
Everybody's so interested in their junk when they're driving.
Well, it's like teachers say the same thing. I know when you're texting in class because no one randomly looks down at their crotch and smiles.
And that's true while driving too. These are a lot of people that are very fascinated and very happy about their junk.
So, you know what I just found out is a thing that exists?
Well, I know it's not porn, that's for sure.
Fidget spinner grills.
For cars or teeth?
Teeth.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Put it up on the screen.
What is the fascination? What is the fascination?
Hi,
with that
Karma.
stuff?
I don't know.
I have a fidget cube and I
It
had a fidget spinner. They
Everybody
are
likes to
favorite
admire their
things.
crotch, except when I'm driving.
Like, I mean, where did it even start? Like, who made it popular exactly? Exactly.
Kids with ADHD and autism.
But how did it come out of that realm? Did like one person see it and like, you know what? I kind of
Yeah.
think I'd like to get that.
Probably.
I feel like it was somebody that
Fidget Cube
influenced
came
this.
first with Kickstarter, and then people were like, "Well, shit, I can knock that off," and so they all just started coming out with their own fidget items. And the fidget spinner is cheaper, and easier to make than a fidget cube. So I've got a fidget.
Kind of like the hoverboards. There's so many different versions now, and
Yeah.
so many like really bad ones that are ready to explode.
Yeah.
You know who
China's pushing it out like crazy right now.
I can't
Yeah,
even.
exactly.
I can't two ideas now.
So you know who was actually a genius? Whoever looked at the Segway said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pull a double Back to the Future move, tear the handlebars off that, call it a hoverboard, and fucking sell it as a unique item. Like nobody gave a shit about Segways when they had a handle. Take out the handlebar that makes it safer, and suddenly everyone fucking needs to have one. And by the way, there's hoverboard porn.
And
Oh my god, really?
I mean, what if they do?
Yeah.
Like one gets on one, the other one gets on another, and they like collide into each other until one of them explodes.
You're not far off. Hold on, I'm looking for the gift of it because it's fucking hilarious.
And what's funny is like the security guards, the security guards at the biggest mall near me, they all use them like to get around in the mall because the mall is like almost a mile long in terms of around.
Like the Segways or like the other ones, the
Yeah, they use the Segways. No, they don't use the hoverboards. They use the actual Segways.
And also, you got to think of Segways are like a lot more expensive than the hoverboard things.
They are.
Yeah,
They're
because they're made
seriously
with-
like at least a good 1,000.
All right, so Allison, I'm sending you a picture.
Yeah, this is not going in the stream. I can guarantee that.
But
Absolutely not.
why?
I don't want to get kicked off of Twitch.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that could. Okay, I thought you were sending porn.
That one.
No. I'm sending you another one. It's a link. Gotta click the link.
Okay, so I'll put the one on there, but I'll have to click the link after I do that.
Yeah.
I mean, how like is that permanent in there?
Probably.
How do you?
People have no foresight.
That's the best like weight loss plan because you can't eat shit.
No, it's perfect because you just spin it before you put the food in, and it chops up all your food.
It's a Julian. Well, literally not a Julian. It's a Julian as.
So I'm sending.
Oh yeah.
I'm sending you the link to the thing now. Privately, separately.
I've already
I-
taken it off.
I gotta
so.
see this.
Yeah.
Well, he sent it to me first.
Yeah. So y'all can click
So
that.
I will see how this is.
So if you want to see what this is, you have to Google it yourself, people.
No, you can just rewind and pause the video and type it in letter by letter. The link was up there just now. But it is hilarious.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Seems dangerous.
Oh, here's a censored version.
It does seem really dangerous.
Here's a censored version. Hold on. Here's a censored version you can share.
Oh, there's a censored version?
Yes. Here's a censored version.
So that second GIF, it's like a docking procedure. It's like two ships like.
Coming into dock. Oh God, no! This can't be real. No, that is not safe.
That's how people die.
Oh my God.
Because what if she like slips up and like jerky motion and bites and takes it out while she's falling over?
No. Look at the one I'm now sending. That one's even more unsafe. Don't pull the screen up.
Yeah, good lord.
Like,
Gotta-
what if
Thankfully,
you
I can
know?
do this like safely.
Lawsuits
You know.
everywhere.
God. Oh man.
Oh my
Like,
god, really?
Oh.
Gonna happen.
Extreme fucking.
It is.
And lawsuit
Oh,
afterwards.
goodness.
Shortly after that, their hoverboard exploded because of battery malfunction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really. Hold on. Here's another one. I have to send the direct or the actual image because the link is so fucking long. Hold on.
I say it's crazy, but I'm not that surprised.
Yeah, no, there's nothing to be surprised about here. Holy shit!
Now here's a question: can you find fidget spinner
Wait,
porn?
where?
Fidget spinner porn?
There probably is
Wait.
some already.
There, yeah.
It's that dude with the grill going down on somebody.
He gets down, just flings it and like.
I feel like that would hurt.
Oh my god.
But that
They
dude
both-
carrying her, he's
This
got some
image is
strength.
pretty funny.
There's a new image, Allison.
Yeah, he does have some upper body strength.
They both have a fucking.
She's not exactly tall.
I didn't realize it was animated.
She's kind of Amazonian a little bit.
Yeah, that picture looks like he's going in for the kill.
Yeah, like,
Arms get an upper body workout too.
It's like, I've got you now.
oh, there's no
And his
fidget
dick
spinner.
turns into a
That's so
lightsaber.
good.
Zing.
Not yet.
Oh wait, I see the problem. I need to Google to look for it.
Big.
Yeah. Here's the thing: if you want to find the best
I feel like-
porn images, use Bing because they don't censor it as much.
It's true. I've heard that before. I've heard that before.
Yeah, it's actually a lot easier to find.
Well, Bing's got to do
Everything.
something to get people to. Maybe that's why they
Like-
still make a lot of money.
Sent with her against the wall makes it kind of look like it's like a Batman from the '60s, like cliffhanger. As far as will she get out of this predicament, or will she end up with a dick in her mouth? Tune in next time.
Although the most dangerous thing I think's there is that fireplace. I mean, if they lose control,
Yes.
one of them's gonna die.
Yes,
I have something for that. You're not gonna get it.
it looks like the fireplace could like something that they would smash their head on if they fell off the hoverboard.
He's gonna die with his pants on and an erection hanging out.
That's the way to die. That's the way to die.
And it's
Oh
called
wow.
dead porn, and she jumps on it.
It is such a good image though. I'm gonna have to watch the video just to see how bad it is.
For
You can find
science.
it. I'm not looking it up.
It's for science. You had to investigate.
I'll tell you how bad it is as soon as I get it going.
That's not bad.
You have to. I mean, come on. You know, if you're getting the chance to see the video there and watch it, you know. Oh my
Well,
god!
There
I
is
kind of regret
fidget-
starting it now.
Wait, what?
There's fidget spinner porn.
Oh, but of course, there always has to be.
It's just people playing with fidget spinners, though.
So you need to get one
White
wide
one.
enough they can put it on there, and she can like flick it
White.
around.
White BWC spins fidget spinner with his finger. Fidget spinner, try not to come. Challenge part 2.
Oh no! No wonder
Fidget
this
spinner
exists because
fucks Big Black
this
Cock and Donald Duck.
What?
is
Fidget
Brazier.
spinner-
This is
Oh, wait,
Brazier.
wait, wait. No, this one counts as porn. It's on someone's ass.
Okay.
So this one counts. There's a fidget spinner being spun on someone's ass cheek.
I didn't see it.
I don't know. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
It's the best you're gonna get.
Cause I mean, technically anything. It could be cat porn because you have a cat in the room.
No.
Oh no! Wait. Pump the brakes.
So
Yeah,
I had to
do
show
that thing.
Michaela last night the porn video from the first episode with the coked out redhead.
All our stuff falls into porn. I don't understand this.
Porn has been discussed in every single episode we've had so
It's
far.
true. Now
We
here's a
talked about-
question: the Star Trek and Star Wars. What would their worlds be? What are their porn? So I think I think I have an answer for Star Wars because we know they have the little projector technology, so they watch a lot of blue shaded porn.
So they have sex slaves. I don't think they would need porn.
I mean, everybody needs porn.
No, they had sex slaves. Like not only did Jabba the Hutt have one, they had one at the Twilight Slave Girl, at the cantina in the first movie. Like if they've got sex slaves, that you know.
But I mean, Luke's on Tatooine. He's hanging out with his aunt and uncle. I'm pretty sure he's not going to pick up a sex slave with his power converters back at Tashi Station. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure he's got some porn.
Probably getting it from his friends because of how remote he is out there.
Exactly. Umber and Uncle, was it Lars? They're not gonna let him bring home random Twilight chicks to
No,
bone.
it looked like a brothel. You had sex with them at the cantina. So
He
you
almost got his
go to
ass
the
kicked the
Well,
first
that's
time in
the
a
thing, Luke never
cantina.
would go. Yeah, Luke would never go there though before like Obi-Wan came into the picture. So
Exactly. He was too busy wasting his money on power converters or whatever it is.
Yeah. Power converter.
sunsets every night. You know?
I mean, that was that's their term for, erotic DVDs.
No, it wasn't touchy station. It was more like touchy station. You know what I mean? That was the name of the brothel.
Well, at least in the Star Wars books that are no longer canon now, he did eventually get him some because he married Mara Jade and you know had a daughter and stuff like that. And,
Or maybe I can't remember what was the guy he met
obviously, at least in the books.
at the base. He says he used to, whenever they were doing the plans for getting the first Death Star, he says this was like something back on, something Walprats. Maybe that was
like hunting, like something Walprats. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that was a term
I've
for
seen those.
actual, mutual masturbation between him and his friend.
I want to say his name was Wedge.
I think so. It's one
I
of
want to
them.
say his name was Wedge. Like I feel like it was Wedge. I think that's who the character was
I think
that
that's
he
what
was
happened
friends
too.
with.
It was definitely some wedging. But now, okay, so we discussed Star Wars porn. So Star Trek porn.
Star Trek. Okay, I think this one would be a lot easier for them. Like
They got the fucking room.
Holodeck?
The holodeck, yeah.
Now here's a question.
that's why I say I think it'd be easier for them.
Like, as a matter of fact, we've seen their porn because they just cut it off because somebody always walks in before they fuck. It happens in like 3 or 4 different fucking episodes. Somebody's about to get nasty, or they say, "Oh, you're bad," and somebody will look over like, "You've been in this simulation before." No, she's programmed to say that.
Though on a side note, there's a podcast called Mission Log Podcast. It is pretty good. If you like Star Trek, like over analyzing Star Trek episodes, it's a really good podcast. But
Yeah,
here's a
I'm
question.
more of a Star Wars guy. I wasn't much on Star Trek.
I love Star Wars, but I do know a lot of Star Trek stuff. But everybody's gonna say the holodeck for getting it on. But here's the question: so it's a holodeck, so it's all holograms. So what happens when you do stuff in them? Okay, hard light. So once everything disappears,
I guess it's just like the internet. You're just watching, like you're just seeing things happen. Maybe you can set it up to where the holodeck is projecting an image of you with somebody else, and you get off on that. But you, as far as the real you, is sitting off to the side, just watching as it happens.
so you don't think you can actually fuck the hologram? You can beat it up and shoot it.
No, I don't think that's the case. I think you just can watch.
No. If you can kill a real life Borg with a hologram gun,
You could
can
fuck it
fuck
too.
Okay. So obviously there's a reason why you could actually fuck the hologram. So, I mean, I'm guessing from what he just said that it's actually something you can physically touch or do something with. So.
So if you can do that, so here's the question: so you have sexual relations with a hologram, and you as the guy, you finish in this chick hologram. What happens when it all disappears? Does your sperm all of a
think it
sudden
just
falls to the
resets.
ground?
well,
I just think it resets. Nothing happens.
But
No,
where's
you're-
your sperm go?
yeah. We'll just assume that the light can get high enough to burn it off.
What if you take a dump in a hologram in a hologram bathroom? I mean, that's gotta suck for the dude that's gotta clean it up.
I feel like
Well, there are never any janitors or anybody cleaning on Star Trek, so maybe the ship's self-cleaning.
There's just a bunch of sperm on the ground.
it probably could be.
I hope
It
so,
very
because
well
that'd
could
be
be
horrible.
like self-cleaning. I could see that.
Do you think when Donald
mean,
Trump went to
There is
Israel-
at least enough.
Huh?
I mean, there's at least enough female crew members aboard. At least in any incarnation of the show, whether it's Next Generation or the original or anything like that. At least there's enough female crew members for these guys to at least do something with.
And they don't seem to care too much. I mean, like, they seem to be hooking up all the time. I mean,
Well, think about it this way: it's the sort of job that, to me, I think at least their jobs are a little more prestigious. So I guess there's an appeal to that, you know.
I can't remember the
Everybody's doing
crew.
that. You have to really train to become. It's sort of like how if anybody was attracted to like military men in uniforms or astronauts, I think they would all have some.
Let's see. So, I don't know why I can't remember. Number one, who is that guy? What was his actual name? No, Jonathan Frakes' real name? William Riker. Okay, so him, he was kind of like in an off and on relationship with the telepath,
Diana. Empath.
empath,
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
But she still slept around with a bunch of other people while they were kind of together, and so did he. What's the
had
place?
another one.
Risa. Risa 9 was like it always insinuation that was like the sex planet or whatever. I don't think they care. They just slept with everybody.
Did they have any kind of? Did they have any kind of thing where like they were like worried that they were markers?
I don't know.
I'm guessing. Like, I mean, I'm just wondering why they would keep splitting apart, seeing other people, getting back together.
Maybe just William Riker had his sex game and he just like kept luring it back with the second in
He
command
very well
penis.
could have a second in command penis.
All right.
Maybe he had a thing for Data. Who knows?
Well, Data did have sex. He
Yeah,
he's
I
fully
heard about
functional.
And anatomically
I
correct.
heard
Yeah.
about that.
It was in like the first fucking episode. If I'm not mistaken, it was like the very first episode.
I can't remember the character name that died off. I didn't like her anyways. I'm kind of glad she died.
Chief Security Officer Tasha Yar.
Yep, I hated her.
They fucked in the first episode. It was a reference.
Was
to
this Will Wheaton's mother?
No, that was Gates McFadden and or what's her? God dang it! What's her
Dr.
fucking?
Crusher?
Yes, Dr. Crusher. You Star Trek nerd.
Now I feel tempted to be like saying Will Wheaton, you know, like the way Stewie says it on Family Guy, as far as when he Will Wheaton.
I have a friend that looks and acts just like Will Wheaton. He could be his doppelganger. It could be Will Wheaton. All I know. I don't. You never know.
Yeah, maybe you're suddenly friends with Will Wheaton.
I could be. He seems like a cool
Just
person.
didn't know it.
Everybody else seems to hate him, but he seems funny.
I don't know why anybody hates him. Like,
He's a bit of a snob, and he made an inappropriate joke a couple months ago, and everybody was like, that was wrong. He's like, I'm just trying to be funny.
What did
Oh,
he
you
say?
didn't.
I don't even know about this. Enlighten
I
us.
don't even
that's what
remember.
I'm wondering. What did he even say?
I don't even remember. It was like a fucking. It was like weeks ago.
Oh, you're just trying to change this up. Now I'm gonna Google it.
I'm googling it now.
I'll Google it. Will Wheaton bad joke.
Speaking of people that said inappropriate things, that definitely got them punished in a way. Does anybody here watch a lot of the YouTube creators? Ones that are huge, like JonTron. He was the one I'm thinking of.
JonTron. So I'm a big game.
Yeah,
I'm fucking going to see Ninja Sex Party tomorrow, and I can't.
that's awesome. They
stand
were
that.
just here in this area.
Yeah, they were, and the tickets sold out before we could buy any. So we're going in see him in Atlanta. But he's like, I already didn't like him. I thought he was a bit of a fucking asshole, like on Game Grumps. Then I see the shit he said, you know, in the interview recently, where he's one of those fucking red pill racists. I'm like, well, sucks to be you, bro.
Yeah. That really got him. That really got him in trouble a lot.
Are we still talking about Will Wheaton or something else?
JonTron, a guy.
No, we're talking about John Jafari.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Right.
reminds me, I need to check up on our crew. We're still alive. And we're
Hey,
on to
got
the
it
next
paused.
sector.
Of course, we're still alive. We're paused.
We are off to the next sector. We are 3 sectors in. Crew.
Here's my 2 cents on JonTron. I am a fan of his. I do like his material as far as his content. Do I agree with the stuff he said? Honestly, no, I don't. I think it was a really bad move on his part to try to go into debating, especially on the show that he did with the one guy, and it really made him look like an ass even more. So it's one of those things, like, and he's just been really inconsistent with his YouTube. So it's making him look even worse in that sense. He's already been losing fans left and right. So it's like, where do you draw the line of liking the channel because of the content, and liking the channel because of everything, his personality and the content.
Yeah,
You know, that kind of thing always brings a question to my mind.
I know the bad thing is, like, if I really like the content, I can look beyond some other things. But it's got to be really something
Yeah,
something I like. But, I mean, you can also... Most people try to separate themselves from... Especially if you're doing content like that, try to separate yourself from, like, really heavily political things. Unless you're super famous, then it doesn't fucking matter.
That's a sense of professionalism to me, you know. Especially even on a YouTube platform.
Well, it's like that Chris Pratt had said something that was inappropriate, and then immediately turned around and said, actually, you know what, that was really stupid, I'm sorry. And everyone's like, you admitted that was fucking stupid, you didn't try to play it off, forgiven. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you just move on from there. And at least he recognized, like, really quickly that he needed to kind of, like, say something to the idea of, John's not going to do that. You know, obviously, he's not going to apologize for what he says.
No.
I think we should all get a kick out of that. Chris Pratt is like an action hero. I think
yeah,
that's
it is kind of interesting.
still
If you were watching Parks and Rec during the whole time.
Because I'm watching through Parks and Rec now. This is the second time I've gone through it since the show's been out, and I'm still thinking, I'm like, what the hell?
I haven't watched it at all.
You haven't watched it? Oh my goodness. It is worth the... You have to probably fight through... Most people have to fight through the first, like, season or first half of the season. First season. But once you get past that, it's a pretty good show.
And he's actually married to Anna Faris, the actress from the Scary Movies, and she's pretty funny, and I feel like she can always play the perfect dumbass. Like, and that's the one thing that she's the greatest thing at, is being a dumbass on, like, as far as her character, not her in real life, but
that was the greatest lag on a word I've ever heard.
oh, what was the lag on?
It was lag on dumbass.
She can play the greatest.
Oh, okay, yeah, she can always play the greatest dumbass. And that's, like I said, just her characters, not the person herself, you know.
Yeah.
Alright, we're still alive.
Kind of like the
We're
perfect
still alive.
match.
We're actually doing pretty good in this.
What is my guy doing?
He, let's see, where is he at? He's still in the shield. He's alive. I got pretty well injured, and Malika, you got injured too, but luckily the medical bay was there. It saved our lives. Because
Yes.
things caught on fire, and we had to put it out. Things apparently catch on fire a lot in space. Who knew?
No, it's all
Gonna
that
start
very
happening in the
flammable
medical bay.
oxygen in space. Very, very.
Well, everything loves to explode in space movies. Because you gotta
Space,
keep
no one
entertaining.
can hear
And then
me.
pornos in medical bay. It was
Yep.
important.
Here's a question. So, Star Trek. Did they advance condoms to the point, or did they just have pills they took whenever they needed to prevent something? Like, I'm pretty sure she's got herpes. I need to take the blue pill.
Well, they
No, I
had
think they.
medicine that could do anything, so
They just got it
I
and they
think-
just went and got a shot for it afterwards.
yeah, they just went
I
over to
think they-
Dr. Crusher and were like, "Yeah, I hooked up with Diana. Oh, here you go."
I say they went a step further to go nanotechnology with this idea, to where you can set it to where you don't get somebody pregnant, or or you can let it go, whatever, like simply by remote control.
Yeah, but that doesn't stop us. You gotta assume that they had some fucking crazy STDs in space.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's, you have sex with an alien, so you walk into the medical bay. It's, I got the blue disease.
Yeah,
It's like, I
Yeah,
told you not to screw them blue
exactly.
aliens.
they should have wrote that in somewhere in the show, at least as far as I don't know if they did. I doubt it, but I would love to have seen it personally if they actually did go to that level of like different diseases that all the different
Well, as promiscuous as Riker was, I'm pretty sure he got them all. I mean, and also Kirk. I mean, he was having sex with everything he came across.
So he was the James Bond of Star Trek.
Yeah. You gotta wonder, like, when they sat down to look at Riker's, medical history, like, hell, 3 of these humans aren't even supposed to be able to contract. That one's only for sharks, and those 2 are feline. How the hell did you get those?
They got Rikered.
Yeah, Riker.
And so, as you arrive at a populated sector, one merchant seems to be mass broadcasting a request for a mercenary ship to aid him. Shall we respond? No.
No.
We'd like to live.
So, there's actually a phrase based off of Riker called a Riker's beard.
Oh, a
So-
Riker's beard?
Yes. Have you heard of Jumping the Shark?
Oh yeah.
A Riker's beard is the exact opposite. So, Jumping the Shark is the point at which a show has run out of ideas and slowly going downhill and should end. And a Riker's beard is a point at which a show was doing badly and suddenly turned it all around. Referenced by the fact that the first season of Next Generation sucked, but then after Riker grew his beard in the second season, everything started getting a lot better.
Oh,
I can
wow.
agree to that. Because he was ugly as hell without the beard.
He is. Jonathan Frakes is weird without the beard.
And
So
he's
you
had a
think
beard ever
viewership-
since.
So you think viewership for the first season, people were turning the channel or without the beard, like, and when they finally noticed it was there when the second season started, they were like, "Oh, okay, now I can stomach this," and came back.
Maybe it was the
Yeah.
same thing with Home Improvement, except they started out with the beard on Al Borland, and that kept the viewers there.
Well,
So,
no,
yeah.
you know.
no, they-
When it went away, the show went away.
That's just it, though. The very first episode, Al did not have a beard. Tim had
Oh,
a beard.
Oh, so maybe the same principle applies. I think we're maybe on to something here.
So if you go back and
Conspiracy of the
rewatch
beards.
season 1, episode 1 of Home Improvement, you'd see Al was shaved, and Tim had the fucking beard on full time. And it's really weird to see. It's very uncomfortable to see. And it, here's an image. Got the image over
I feel like I'm gonna be scared to see this.
Like it's just uncomfortable.
Oh,
Like, you're
shit,
like,
that's true.
Oh wow, yeah, that is really uncomfortable.
And the question is, can we find other shows that this happened? Is this beard theory something,
I think I know one. I got one. Breaking Bad. No beard at the beginning.
Or was it bad at the beginning and then got better when he changed to the beard?
Even in the first season. But no beard at the beginning of the first season. That's for sure. And the best seasons are when he actually has the beard and has no hair on his head.
So what you're saying is, now that I've got the beard,
You're at the best moment in your life.
see, I should have done porn after growing the beard.
Yes.
But the question was your face in this said porn?
No, oddly enough, just my wiener.
Your wiener should have had a beard.
There was
The wiener should have had a beard.
a little beard on it.
Oh, I forgot to get fuel for our ship, so we may be screwed.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me double fire.
This may not be a good thing. Well, 5 jumps. I can make it across the system in 5 jumps. So we may not be screwed.
May
Just-
not be screwed.
May not be. We're also down to 3 missiles.
Somebody
but-
has to get. Then somebody ends up being the sacrifice. You know.
Yeah, we're not sure who's gonna be the red shirt in the situation, but
Oh god damn it! It's gonna be me.
yeah, the one character doesn't have an actual name.
Me.
Does anybody?
Yeah, the one character.
So going back to Home Improvement, does anybody remember who the first Tool Time girl was?
Yeah, it's Pamela Anderson.
Pamela Anderson. Yeah.
And actually, you're both wrong again. The first Tool Time girl was Mrs. Binford.
Fuck you, get out. That doesn't count.
Mrs. Benford.
It was. It was an old lady. She played an organ to play the theme song. She stands up wearing like overalls and a shirt, and she goes, "Does everyone know what time it is?" Nobody fucking reacts. And she points at her shirt. No one reacts. She goes, "That's right, Tool Time with Tom Taylor."
Oh god.
And he walks out. It's Tim Taylor. And he's like, "You're such a good boy, Tom." Like, I am fucking schooling y'all on this first episode.
You're probably watching it
See, I
as we
never-
speak.
I never really watched Home Improvement though. Like I wasn't into those kind of shows back then.
I wasn't either. I watched sitcoms more like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah, I was all about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, so I could tell you any episode about that show inside and out. So
All right.
if we can talk about Fresh Prince, I will totally get on board with that.
Why did Carlton get a gun?
And-
He had a
because
s-
they got robbed when they were at an ATM. So
I'm checking to make sure that's right. 'Cause that's not what I remember.
Carlton took a bullet for Will.
I remember he was in the hospital and showed the gun, but I don't remember.
Yeah, it's because he took a bullet.
He took a bullet for
Well,
his
Will
own-
actually took the bullet. No, Will took the bullet. Carlton got scared, and Carlton bought the gun. And Will demanded him to give him the gun.
And he cried when he unloaded it. Yep.
Yes, it was a very tearjerkery moment.
Yeah.
That was a good show. I mean, I don't know. It's make myself feel old is when I complain about TV shows now not being good as they were. But I mean, I kind of feel that way somewhat.
It
Well,
depends on the
there's
show,
shows that
really.
you look
Like,
at and you're like, yeah, this was like Roseanne. Just finished watching Roseanne, trying to write an article to pitch on that show. That show was so much better than you remember it being. Whatever it is you remember, because like in my mind, it was the same as Married with Children, which was sexist, never quite racist, but they would have been if they could have gotten away with it. Classist, just a horrible, like looking back on it, show. And I was like, oh, Roseanne was more or less the same thing. Just no, Roseanne was insanely progressive.
yeah, I was thinking like the one thing that would come up the most is the class like sort of criticism and discrimination. At least what I would think would come up about it. Even though I didn't watch the show, I wasn't very interested in it. But as far as the one thing I think would come up the most in discriminating would be the class.
Which apparently they're bringing it back. She's going to bring back Roseanne.
I'm so excited. I'm really happy they're bringing it back because we need a show like that today. We really, really do. And if you don't know why I say that, go back and rewatch the show. Look it up. It is incredible the kind of stuff they discussed on that show. Like they had in one episode, Jackie was being abused by her boyfriend regularly, and Roseanne had to save her. They really worked on workers' rights throughout the series. They discussed like emotional and family abuse and how your real family might not be blood related. You know, they had a real looking cast instead of like Hollywood young models like Friends or Fresh Prince of Bel Air, where everyone was gorgeous, and they had real people on that I work with, you work with, everyone works with. They had
You all get people you work with. You get people you work with. Everybody gets people you work with.
Yeah.
Oprah impression.
how they talk about
Check under your
homosexuality in the LGBT community. They really took a lot of strides in that because Roseanne's brother and sister were gay, and she was sick and tired of all the homophobia on TV. And then sexuality in general, they fucking covered that. Like every fucking episode was just about women's sexuality and how women have the right to choose. Like if a woman, they discussed whether or not to have an abortion. They discussed whether a woman should have sex, when she have sex. They discussed birth control. They did everything towards progressing women's rights and sexuality.
So with all that, do you think that show like holds up in time? Like if you watch it
Yes.
10 years from now or 15 years from now, it still can make valid points and still make sense.
Still making valid points today. Like it's a 20-fucking-year-old show. It ended 20 years ago and started.
That's
in the
hard to
80s.
believe. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, even though I didn't watch it, just from him telling like exactly the things that that he saw when he watched it, and all the themes that were amongst the show, I can already say, yeah, there's already at least some like longevity in terms of being relevant to even today's standards.
I mean, hell, two of the biggest ones dealt with racism, the difference between racism and prejudice, but they kind of lumped those two together. And they didn't have one of those, boy, I sure learned a lesson about how to treat other people today moments. At the end of the episode, they just realized, oh shit, I'm a terrible person. And that was the end of the episode. Like, they knew they had to work and grow from there, but they didn't finish the episode with this magical transformation like another sitcom would have done. They handled everything like it was a real world situation, not a half-hour sitcom.
You want
And-
another show did a bunch of that in the same, and they came out in the I think 70s.
What's that?
MASH.
You're gonna fucking say MASH. God
Yeah.
damn it, Alex.
I mean, they touched on people being gay and attacks and abuse of them, especially in the military, color, women. I mean, yeah, cross-dressing. Well, I wouldn't know
'cause
that.
the one guy that wanted to get out of the unit and try to get out of the area, and he tried to cross-dress so that they would like dismiss him, like discharge him in general.
I mean, that show touched on a lot of things for that time period would be considered, odd. And especially in the time frame they were basing it on would be even more, odd.
Because it's set in Vietnam, isn't it?
Korea. The Korean War.
Okay, the Korean War.
Think, wasn't it like set in Korea, but it was a commentary on Vietnam?
Yeah, kind of. I believe it was. It was taking a lot of the things from that and combining it. And using Korea's conflict as a way to like telling the story. Because I mean, the series lasts for was it 11 seasons, and
Oh god, it was a long time. It
the
was a
Korean
long
War
time. It was
only
like-
lasts like 3 years. I think it was like maybe not even that.
Yeah, it was definitely something like people just flocked to it, and I know people today that still watch it.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
we're
one
talking
show that is
something-
probably maybe the example of a TV show that can hold its time and still
Yeah.
be very relevant.
I mean, I can agree with that. It may not be my favorite show, but it's still. The thing is, the shows that stay relevant are the shows that talk about progress, and we don't make progress as a society. We make tiny baby steps and think, oh, well, gay marriage is legal now? Problem solved. But it's not. Like, we still have people trying to pass laws like the Kim Davises of the world who are fighting against it and getting support and getting presidential candidates standing with her, holding their hands up in victory, and she's crying that she's the victim in all this. We've not made any progress. We've just passed a law. We've not even passed a law. We just had a law not pass. And the Supreme Court said, not only is this not legal, fucking let the gays marry. So it's not even we as a society elected leaders who progressed the law. It's that we as a society made laws so stupid, the Supreme Court was like, fuck no. All
Pretty
the
much
best, like, really, if you stop and think about all the best progress we've made as a society in the past at least 17 years was made by the Supreme Court. It was never, and that's why you hear a bunch of conservatives bitching about, they're legislating from the bench, that ain't right. Like, no, that's exactly right, you fucking assholes. That's their fucking job. You passed a stupid fucking law.
Hey, that's our first rant, our first tangent for a podcast called, the Tangent Dropship. You just drop-shipped that tangent. Although, on the news of our ship, things aren't looking good. We got invaded, and I don't know if we're going to survive this one. I'm trying to suffocate them with space air. I mean, not space air. I didn't say space air.
Set proton phasers to kill, not stun.
Yeah, I think I got the intruders, but we're all locked in 3 rooms. One, the security room, so we can lock doors. So, let's see. Andrew, you're in there. Julian, you're in there. I'm in the engine room just chilling. And, Malika, you're in the oxygen control room. And our weapons are offline, so we can't attack the ship that's attacking us to send the people that attacked us, so. And something's on fire. I don't know what. Because internal sensors are down.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's nice knowing everybody.
The fire will probably be the thing that takes us, not them.
Ah, the weapons are on fire. Now the medical bay's on fire.
So I'm looking at a group of ridiculous rules the Princess of England has to follow, or any princess in England has to follow. Rule number 8, you can't play Monopoly.
What?
What?
This isn't a joke. In 2008, Prince Andrew, Duke of York, said the royal family wasn't allowed to play Monopoly because of how vicious the competition gets.
This is actually kind of true.
Yeah, that's some real life shit right there. That's true. There's no friends that come out of Monopoly. None.
You cannot eat shellfish.
We are dead. Just a heads up on that. We all died.
Give up any career you might have had before becoming a princess. And in the British royal family, princesses who were former commoners may never arrive at an event before a blood prince.
I still say Hungry Hungry Hippos is also a very competitive game in general.
So, more hippos are responsible for the decapitation and murder of people per year than sharks or snakes or.
I'm assuming we're not talking about the game still, correct?
No, I don't think so.
So, but it just makes you wonder about Hungry Hungry Hippos. Like,
Piss your friend off and he cuts your head off.
Suddenly that game is a lot more violent looking.
Suddenly those balls are now representing people's heads.
So,
Maybe that is. Maybe that's like they made the game. It's
other rules if you're a princess: no nicknames.
No nicknames?
No nicknames.
no
You
cunting
may
is
not
fart
vote.
fart.
You may not vote, nor may you run for political office. You must be well groomed. 24
You must be
hours.
what? What was about the rooms?
You must be well groomed 24 hours.
Oh, you
a
must
day.
be well groomed. Okay.
You must be well roomed.
Well groomed.
You must be as charitable as possible. You have to learn.
Okay, that's understandable.
And you have to learn as many languages as possible.
That's pretty good. If they're trying to be ambassadors, to their country, then that makes sense.
I think it's
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard about I think it's the Dutch king. I'm not sure. He took up learning how to fly, and he's been for the past 20 years flying commercial airlines.
That's actually not a bad idea either. So if things start getting really hairy, he knows how to get out of a situation if he has a plane or a helicopter nearby.
So the king of that country had been flying people back and forth for the longest time, and no one knew it.
Well, I mean, that would be cool. Cool. I'm thinking instantly because of my, my love for metal music. I'm thinking instantly of the fact that Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden is a pilot. He flies all the time. He flies their plane when they go on tour.
Hey, it definitely saves you money too.
So is Han Solo, Harrison
Oh,
Ford.
Harrison Ford, but he's
not good at it.
So I have a sticker on my car that's a stormtrooper helmet with a bunch of graffiti on it, and one of the things on it says "fuck Solo."
Keep the Han in Hanukkah.
Keep the Han.
Though, Julian, you said you like metal. I have a question. So, what do you may know an answer, not an answer to this, but your opinion on it? What do you think of the group Ghost?
I love Ghost.
Yes!
Holy shit.
I love that. I'm going to go see them June 9th.
Charlotte, then.
When I performed at wedding, I was told I was not allowed to dress like Papa Emeritus.
Damn it.
Like
That makes me sad.
Yet they allowed you to come nude. It's crazy.
Yeah, I live towards Charlotte, so that's awesome that you're coming to see them as far as with Iron Maiden.
Oh, that's cool that you live down. Yeah, and funny, I'm going with my father-in-law because no one else I know wants to go see. He doesn't know who Ghost is. He says I'll bring earplugs for that, but he wants to go for Iron Maiden.
I got to see Ghost in Asheville at the Orange Peel during. I think it was during If You Have Ghosts tour. For that EP had come out, and they were really, really great live. Like, no joke, really on point. Of course, this is before the lineup change that's been going on recently with them, where the other members of the band, as far as the Nameless Schools, have been replaced. So I don't know how it'll be now, but back then they were amazing.
It looks. I mean, I've been watching some of the newer YouTube stuff that people's put up, and it looks pretty cool. I mean, of course, the older stuff I've seen, it looks pretty neat. So I'm freaking excited.
They're a little different, so it's not exact. It's not going to have the same exact tone that they used to have. So I think it's cool that I think they're doing really well. I mean, at least from the new stuff that I saw.
Yeah, I wear a crucifix necklace.
Yes.
People tend to not particularly care for a lot.
It is a very cool band with a very cool theatricality to it, and they really put that together when they're on stage too. They want to make sure that you're invested in the experience.
That's cool.
Talking
I'm
about
really excited
adding
now.
a lot of new stuff to it. So I was reading some articles as far as an interview with one of the Nameless Schools, and as far as one of the new guys, and they were saying how much they want to put in newer ideas and experiences for the stage show to get you more involved.
That's pretty cool. I'd love to see when they come through again for whatever tour they do, their solo tour. I'd love to see one of those. They had one in one of their, I forget, it was in Raleigh the last time they came through, but it was on a Monday night.
Yeah, they did. Last year they did Carolina Rebellion up this way, so they were part of that festival, which means you would only got to see them for maybe about 30-45 minutes. They weren't headliners, so. But now they're gonna get to play a much larger set, and with easily one of the greatest metal bands of all time, Iron Maiden. So I think that's a great. I hope they're getting along. Seriously, I hope they're really getting along.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to think something like that because I mean, how it came to. Because I forget who's that Book of Souls tour. There's another band that's going with them on the other part of it, and I forget who.
Now I'm gonna have to Google that because I want to know who exactly.
Because Ghost picks up I believe the second half, not the first half of that tour.
Iron Maiden tour. Book of Souls World Tour. They had Shinedown before.
Yep. And I don't know.
I would
I
not wanted to see.
I don't mind Shinedown, but Ghost is better than Shinedown, I think.
Yeah, Ghost to me is a way better than Shinedown.
One thing everybody always likes, 'cause I bought Meliora on vinyl, and
Nice.
the book it comes with all the songs and everything, the artwork in it is incredible.
Yeah, the guy that they get to do their art, I actually follow his Facebook, and he's really amazing with all the different artwork that he comes up with, and he puts all the stuff up there, and he actually sells it to people if they want it, like big like poster and like frame size stuff. So if you're ever looking to get some of that artwork from the inside of the booklets, he's definitely on there as far as on his on Facebook.
Do you remember what his name is?
It's a very Swedish name. Let me look it up.
It's true.
I know his name though, at least in terms of their artists. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up through Google again.
Google answers everything. I can yell at. Hey Google, what are you doing?
What am I doing? Let's ask the crystal ball.
Snarky ass Google Home. Fuck you.
Yes, Google. Okay, say this guy's name honestly. So I'll send you a link to it at least
That'd be
to
cool.
let you see it.
Yeah, I mean, I funny enough, how I came across that, I was hanging out with this guy, and he's like, he suggested it. It was the first song he played was Cerise.
Yeah, that's anybody who just gets into Ghost recently, they start with that song, like because it's the one that most people know.
Yep, and I didn't like it the first time, then I listened to it again, and then watched Pinnacle of the Pit, and
Yeah, Pinnacle of the Pit's one of my favorites.
and I forget the other song, the three most popular songs off of Meliora, and then
Then it was probably well, there's Pinnacle to the Pit, there's seriously, I think that's how you say it. I'm terrible at these as far as pronunciations. I don't think it's Majesty. I don't think it might be Absolution.
I think so, because it's I can look on YouTube, because it's one of the three they have, because they have 3 official YouTube videos that are like production something.
Okay. Then I could easily look that up real fast. I mean, the newest song in terms of like the one that has the video is Square Hammer. That's on the EP.
Yep. Pinnacle of
which
Pit,
is
Square
great.
Hammer,
I
and
like that
Cerise.
song.
Those 3.
Okay, so Square Hammer is the one you're thinking of.
That is the one. I wonder how
You
much I
said
can play of a
EP.
song before.
Before you get tagged in copyright notice.
Yeah, I played Ghost in the background when I was playing Penumbra, but I had it super low. I mean, it was like only I could really hear it, and I put it on YouTube and they muted it, and I tried to fight it, and I gave a reason for review or some BS, and they said no, still won't.
Yeah. No, I started off Ghost-wise. I started with Infestimum as far as the second album.
Yeah, that's a very good album
And-
too.
Because it very much is. And one of my friends brought it to me, and he's like, "Hey, I think you'll like this." And the first song he put on, which happens to be one of my absolute favorites of theirs, is Goulet, Zombie Queen. Favorite of mine. It's such a good song. The build up is great. I can't help but to tout them so much now because we're talking about them, and I don't get to talk to many fans of Ghost.
Yeah, there's not
Most
that many.
people don't like it.
Now, unfortunately, you guys can't hear it, but I am playing some of the song.
Yay!
Just
I
imagine.
can't hear
it. But yeah, I love that. That's one of the albums I actually bought a CD for. So I bought the vinyl of Meliora, and I bought that album with Infestianum on CD.
Oh yeah, Infestimum, and then there's which is pretty much the self-titled.
And then was it Opius Impenus, I think it is.
Yeah, Opius. Impenus.
And both those albums, I love songs in them, but I always start from the top and just listen to the whole album because I think they go together pretty well.
Opus and Epinus. I wish I could say it like as far as at least how to pronounce it. But
Ritual,
I really love
Satan's
a lot of songs on
Prayer.
there too. Ritual, Elizabeth, yeah, Stand By Him.
Which I think Ritual is
Death
something
metal.
they'll probably have in their. It seems like they'll probably have in their
Oh, yes.
live sets
They
forever.
always put that in their set. Absolutely, that is a big song of theirs. The definite ones that you will hear, for sure, as far as when you see them live, because they're gonna have a longer set. Like they're gonna have a pretty long set. You will definitely hear Ritual. You more than likely will hear Elizabeth, at least from the first album. Then, when I saw them, they did, as far as at least on the Pestamon, they did Goulet Zombie Queen, but they saved it to the very end. They let that be the last song.
Have you heard them do Monstrous Clock?
They did that too, and that was great. Like when they did it live, because everybody was singing with it. Like there was nobody that was quiet in that whole room.
And isn't basically 90% of their songs all about fucking?
Yeah.
It's a very
Along with-
sex-oriented oriented songs.
Well, I mean, they have these nuns called the Sisters of Sin, who are in scantily clad nun outfits. You know, this too with me as far as the show that I saw them at in Nashville. They had them come down and they were giving us communion wafers, and they were sharing this cup of like communion wine between everybody in the front row. And I didn't take the wine because I didn't want the backwash of everybody's mouth that had touched it before that. But I took one of the communion wafers, and that's all it was. It was just a simple little cracker, and that's it.
Though what's funny is, and I didn't realize, so I've never really big on ABBA, but I didn't realize that I'm a Maronite is a cover of an ABBA song.
Yeah, I'm a marionette.
Yep, Marionette.
That's a good one.
They do it. I
Yeah,
think they
that's-
do it far better than ABBA did.
Listen to the original "If You Have Ghosts" song, as far as by I think it's Ricky Erickson. I think is his name. And I have to check to be sure that I'm saying the right name for purposes, obviously, to make sure I'm not quoting wrong. Yeah, it was very, very different from the way Ghost did it, and for Ghost's version over that one.
I think we killed off Andrew.
Oh no! We started talking about Ghost.
He was the red shirt after all.
No.
If you're saying stuff, we can't hear you because I see your thing lighting up.
I'm here.
All right, we'll change the subject. We'll talk about something else. So how about the something else? It's
How about this something else?
yeah,
Did
something else.
anybody see?
Struggle.
Did anybody see Alien Covenant?
No. I've
Okay.
not seen
I haven't
any of the Alien movies.
What?
Yep.
Why?
I don't
No,
want to
no,
admit to, but I don't think I've seen them either.
Come on. I mean, Alien and Aliens is great.
Here we go. We can transition from that. So on alien life, what is your opinion on the existence of extraterrestrials?
Oh.
I'm gonna get deep here.
Well, statistically speaking, they have to exist.
I agree with that 100%.
Now, have they been here and we're probing people in their anus and whatnot? No.
Probably not. Yeah.
Like the closest planet to Earth that's the same as Earth that could have life like ours is the closest star. We'll start with the closest fucking star. Is 5 light years away. That means moving at the speed of light, it would take you 5 years to get here. Since that is so fucking impossible, we'll set it at 500 years to get here. Let's say we had the technology to move at 500 miles a light year, in the time it would take us to reach there, we would have died off several generations, right? Like just to get to the next fucking star. the likelihood that anyone else has discovered technology that can break the laws of physics and move them fast enough to get to Earth in one lifetime, let alone several, what the fuck is here that they would even want to look at? Oh,
In-
look, it's like going to the zoo. Like, nobody fucking wants to go to the zoo. You do it because you have to. You don't take a 5 lifetime journey. Oh, we'll head to the zoo and our great grandkids might get there if supplies last. But you'd have to have a floating city with agriculture, with some form of solar light to grow the fucking crops. You'd have to have so much pre-planned ahead of time. Water. How are you going to get fresh water? There's no fucking. Not only are there no planets between the two, there's no stars for the planets to orbit. You have to think generations ahead, and you're assuming that the next generation wouldn't just turn the fucking ship around and go home.
Funny thing is, so on a joking note, I would say Earth is that questionable gas station at the edge of town that you really don't want to stop at, but you may have to at one point because you're almost out of gas, but you're going to try to avoid. That's Earth. Now, on a serious note, so if anybody's familiar with Ender's Game, I think they probably have the most realistic depiction of space travel, as in it actually, takes, time. Because, like, if you, in the story Ender's Game, Ender's going through battle school, into the command school and all that stuff, and their ships, they don't tell him this, their ships are actually traveling at that moment to the alien world to fight them. But they know
Right.
it'll take these, decades to get
So
there.
they have time to prepare and train for it.
Yeah, so Ender, they think they're going to be jumping on a ship or defending or going there. But in fact, the army they built is already on its way there because it takes so long. And in the precursor stories of Ender's Game, where he gets basically he leaves Earth because he's distraught on what he happened, and he goes to other planets they inhabit, and it depicts the actual time frame of things happening. By the time he gets to the one planet they can colonize, Earth is already 40 years past. His family's all dead. The whole world has changed by the time he reaches his destination because ship can only travel so far. They're traveling light speed, and their time will function differently than Earth's time frame does. So a lot of things don't really depict that. The fact is that when these people get on these ships, they're leaving everything in Earth behind because they're going to be gone. Those people are going to get old and die. The things are going to change by the time they get to their destination.
It makes me think of the recent movie that came out, at least some months ago, Passengers, the one with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but basically what the setup is for the whole movie is that there is another planet like Earth, like the way that Andrew's talking. So they put together this big ship, and they're sending at least about maybe 200 to start basically colonizing, over there. And it's going to take them 100 and so odd years to get there. So what they have done is that they have put themselves all into, including the crew, the ship's driving itself by this point. People aboard, as far as the colonists, are asleep in cryosleep, and it'll make sure that they're not going to age and whatnot. They'll be fine when they wake up. But of course, something happens outside of the ship and wakes up Chris Pratt's character as far as his tooth. And now, by the point that he wakes up, put himself back to sleep because it's automated in some way, the way they put it, because he tries to fix it himself. He has 90 years before he ever gets there. He can't wait around that long. He's going to die, So that's why that whole deal happens as far as where he's...
It's kind of similar to, you ever heard of the movie Event Horizon?
Yes, yeah. I like that movie.
That is, kind of has the same kind of a little bit thing other than the horror side of it. I mean, that is a crazy movie.
Oh yeah, big time. It is very crazy, and That's why I think Sam Neill can also play the villain role pretty well when he does get a chance to do it, because he hasn't done it that often. Of course, that movie, and then Daybreakers. I don't know if you ever saw that movie. That was a vampire
I
movie.
think I did see that. No, what's funny is, all these kind of movies have the same connotation. Has sci-fi determined the fact that if we're going to travel to distant systems or distant planets, that we're going to be in cryosleep?
Hmm. Yeah, like it seems like everybody's going to be in this sort of stasis where they're just going to be asleep the entire time.
Because that's what seems like, unless, that seems where like sci-fi has taken that
Yeah.
problem of not being able, being growing old, and it's going to take a while. Is their solution to it is that? And
I think
stuff has,
So-
other shows and stuff have set movements in technology. Star Trek has brought on some ideas for technology, so why wouldn't this happen?
Because the logic here is that you would be cryogenically frozen while you're in your
pretty
tube.
much frozen.
But the problem is, we have not been able to prove that cryogenic freezing works with humans. Like, people will point at bees. They'll put bees in a freezer, take them out, thaw them, and they'll fly the fuck away. And you're like, it works with them, but it doesn't work for complex systems.
Because
like
because we're
humans.
so complex in general.
Yeah, we've not been able to successfully freeze somebody for longer than they would need water or food and thaw them back out again. And the likelihood is we can't. It's entirely likely that you cannot cryogenically freeze anybody longer than they would starve or dehydrate naturally.
Yeah, exactly.
So the idea that you could put a crew to sleep in cryogenic stasis and then shoot them off is just not feasible either.
I
The
think
most- Go ahead.
sorry, I was just gonna say I think the idea of the cryo freezing really did start with the Alien movies, because that pretty much is what happens to the character of Ripley between Alien and Aliens. She puts herself to sleep and is just waiting for rescue from salvage, and up being so far out there, way out of the system, that she stays asleep for 57 years before she's ever found.
Wait a
Like she
minute,
was when she wakes
what
up.
was that? You mentioned it in the beginning, Andrew. The recent movie that came out about I don't know why I can't think of it. Matthew
Interstellar?
McConaughey. Yeah, Interstellar. I mean, they use that in that movie too. Except theirs is a bit more. I don't know. I don't think I would want to do that because it looks like they basically engulf themselves in a liquid and then it seals them up. That's kind of. I don't know about that.
I need to watch that movie. I haven't seen it yet.
That
Like,
is definitely
so-
a good movie, but it's like what 3 hours you need to set aside.
good for like the cryo thing is great for storytelling. I'm a writer. I understand why they use that. It's great
Because
for
it's a simple
storytelling.
answer for a problem.
Yeah, and it gives you the story of passengers and all that. But the most likely solution that could happen is more like Star Trek's solution, warp drive. In Star Wars,
Bending,
they
Space.
Yeah, it's, as far as the hyper
travel.
hyperdrive, yeah.
So in Star Wars, they move at the speed of light, but in Star Trek, they don't. What they do is they create a tesseract and move space around them, wrinkling it and then stretching it back out behind them. So if you had like a piece of paper with an ant on one end of the sheet and you wanted it to get to the other, you could either let it crawl across the entire sheet of paper or fold the two ends together so it could go to the other end. That
Yeah,
is
it won't take as long when it comes back out.
right. That is essentially what warp drive does, and it is the most plausible method of rapid travel.
As most plausible as those methods are, it's the most plausible of the plausible.
Like, it's potentially more possible than any of the other options in sci-fi. Which is,
Crazy.
yeah. The fact that you can literally fold the universe around a ship being more plausible than traveling at the speed of light. That tells you something, you know?
Well, I mean, you think of technologies, not that long ago, flying was seen as something that was, you know, not possible. And then we have flight. And then, of course, I'd say a big jump would be the Concorde. You had that, of course, wasn't feasible and had a bunch of other problems. So, I mean, we can't see it as plausible, but you never know, just down the line, we might get something that might give that answer.
Thing is, though, I think it's because of the fact that we understand our physics on Earth a little bit more than we used to. And space is just such a crazy,
That's why we need moon
have
bases.
no
Why don't we have a
idea.
moon base? We need a moon base. Everybody should have a
Yeah,
moon
we
base.
do need a moon base.
Check under your
Yeah,
seat.
well,
We all
that's
get a
it.
moon base.
But what would you do with it? Like, what function would it serve other than using up resources for very little return on investment?
I mean, the moon has precious minerals.
Does it, though?
Yeah, they've said it has. I mean, you can also
So
harvest
you bring
liquid
it
from it
back.
and nitrogen or
So
hydrogen.
let's say you bring back the minerals from the moon.
I wouldn't say you
There's
wouldn't.
all
My
that
idea,
stuff.
you wouldn't bring them back. See, if you had a permanent base there, you could, do all the stuff there, because then you don't have to spend as much resources getting things out of Earth's orbit. You'd already be there. Getting off the moon is 10 times easier than it is getting out of, get off the Earth. It'd make space travel infinitely more cheaper.
But you'd still have to get the fuel up there.
Well, you can always
Yeah.
acquire that stuff up there. I mean,
Uh,
their idea of towing asteroids is another thing of getting precious minerals and things that they need for those things. So I think once you
So-
get up there and you're able to solidify yourself, the only thing you got to deal with is food, honestly, because you can get H2O from space, from celestial bodies and other things around there.
Well, here's the problem with the idea of getting fuel on the moon. Short of solar sail technology getting to a point where it's feasible and powerful enough to launch from the moon, there's no animal or plant life on the moon thousands of years ago to have been crushed by volcanic activity on the moon into petroleum oil for you to harvest for fuel. So you'd still have to get it from Earth and ship it to
We
the
don't have
moon.
to use petrol fuel to. I mean, what do they use for boosters? They don't use petrol fuel for most of those things. They use rocky fuel something else? I forget whatever it is. It's a combination of a few things. But there's other types of fuels you can get from there other than traditional petroleum.
So let's see, solid or rocket fuel, liquid fuel.
I think it
Solid
was
rocket
still-
fuel is easier and cheaper to handle and make, as you don't have to cool materials to cryogenic temperatures. It's made from powdered aluminum and an oxidizer. This fuel is often used in booster rockets to give craft that extra kick needed to lift off.
And
Whereas
also,
liquid fuel is liquid oxygen and either kerosene or liquid hydrogen, neither of which you're likely to find on the moon.
but also you have to think of, you're in the moon in that area. You don't need boosters anymore. You don't need. I mean, satellites survive, on very little fuel or whatever they run off of in
Momentum.
their orbits. I mean, once
Well,
you're outside of the atmosphere, it doesn't really require that much to get going and to stop.
Well,
Yeah, our physics and gravity kind of hold us down here. That's why it takes so much to get up there and whatnot. And, but once you get out of the atmosphere, that's true. Once you get up there, you're pretty good to go.
I mean, satellites
Think
have
about-
a decade-long lifespan on some of them, and they
Because
use simple balance of fuel and electric.
well, what keeps the thing about satellites that people don't get is they're constantly falling. They're not just like orbiting like you imagine they do, like on a track or mentally speaking, on some kind of like rocket propelled path. It's
They're
constantly
just slowly
falling.
like drifting down, like down and
Yeah.
down towards the atmosphere.
But they do
Yeah.
That's what they do have minor not rockets, but boosters where they can boost themselves back into their their orbit. So they don't require that much to stay in orbit. It takes more to get into orbit than it does to stay in orbit.
Yeah,
And
I
you
can
wouldn't
see
have to
that.
deal with that once you're on the moon. I mean, you're going to have significantly less pull from Earth once you're that point, and you can get out of our orbit very quickly. I see the moon as a jumping point to do other things. Star Trek. They, you know, of course, other than the first Enterprise, they show building it on Earth. But once they built all the foundries and stuff in space, they don't build them on Earth anymore. They build them in orbit. I always have to
I
go back to
mean,
Star Trek for that.
Mystery Science Theater, they're hanging out on the moon. I mean, I know that's a fictional show in terms of the backstory around it, but still, that's where that's the base of operations is on the moon.
I mean, I see that's a very reasonable thing, is to be able to have a facility. Because I mean, yeah, you'd still have to get it supplies to them. You still have to use their traditional methods to get it off Earth, but you could easily do more stockpiling there, and wouldn't have to, come back down, do a bunch of other stuff. I mean, even though that was at the SpaceX rockets, now they can start actually landing them back, which is quite amazing to think of. That if you think of sci-fi and all that other stuff, it's like, whoa, what? We haven't been landing rockets all these years? Technically, no, just recently.
Well, you know how many tries it took them to get to that point?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
And they're still not
not
fully there. It's still not guaranteed it's going to land.
It's not as easy as it sounds. It's not like an airplane.
Oh, no, not at all. That's the crazy thing. I mean,
Like, they're not designed to fly like an airplane. They're designed to just, like, float through space at, a direction. They're not at all. Because there's no... What makes an airplane maneuverable is the friction of the wind and the lift that it gains from the wind. There's none of that in space, so you kind of just, like, drift in a direction, and if you need to turn, you kind of force it to drift well ahead of your turn. Like, it is not comparable.
yeah, no. And
It's
it's,
like-
it's not like. And that's why my thought of the moon stuff is that once you give yourself a boost forward, you don't stop unless you boost, provide yourself with a stop. That's why, Interstellar, I mean, basically once they started going, they keep going. And it takes them fuel to stop. Thus whenever they were going to do the loop around the Earth, they just didn't slow down. They just sped up so they could get more pull off Earth's gravity, and it doesn't take as much
Right.
fuel. The benefit
And-
of not having to fight good old.
Speaking of space and physics of space, I laugh almost every time now, since I know this tidbit information since I was, maybe in middle school. Cannot happen in space. So all the movies that have the sci-fi explosions and
Oh, yeah.
like the Death Star blowing up and all that stuff in Star Wars, because I just know that's not possible. At least in terms of real life, what it would be like if something was to implode.
That is a crazy
Yeah.
thing. Now they should go through and people should redo movies to have appropriate space explosions.
So there would be no fire.
Yeah, no.
Our ship wouldn't have gone. Well, it could have gone down in fire, but once it exposed then it would have went away. But our ship
Yeah.
exploded before that happened, so
Right.
well, imploded, I guess you could say.
It'd have to implode. Yeah, there would be no other way around. Because there's just no oxygen out there, so that's how fire even gets really started in the first place.
It depends. That actually would depend on what caused the fire. If it's enemy attacks from the outside, then it would more likely just implode. Because the fire wouldn't catch. It would just cause a hull breach, suck all the oxygen out, everyone dies, ship stays
Yeah,
the same.
pretty much.
But-
I mean, technically, we really don't know. They don't know the answers to this. We're
Right.
kind of
Never had a battle in space, but
with lasers.
but-
So, if you're defining an implosion as taking a soda can and crushing it, then and an explosion as everything being blown away
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
center, What you're actually going to have is if the fire starts inside the ship, from like somebody tipping over a fucking candle and setting everything on fire, it's going to burn the ship. It's going to burn up all the oxygen, but it's also going to, before that, weaken the structure of the ship around the edge, which is going to weaken its ability to withstand the force of the vacuum of space. So all that oxygen and expanding gas inside is going to spread or squeeze outward with the vacuum of space pulling on it. So it actually would explode if the fire started inside.
Yeah,
But
as long as it starts from the inside.
And if it's a hole blown through the ship, whether from the inside or outside, it's just going to suck all the air out through that hole like a Capri Sun. And it may crumple the ship. Depends on how it's built. If it's built to withstand crumpling like that on itself, then it would stay the same. Or if the hole is just sufficiently large enough, it would stay the same.
I like
So-
the example of a Capri Sun. Like,
Yeah.
That's pretty
you know,
good.
like sticking out of a straw, you know.
Yeah, so it just depends on how big the hole is, whether it would crumple or whether it would stay the same, or whether the ship was designed to withstand crumpling in on itself for future, like say a Star Trek ship is destroyed like that, the or Federation could come along, patch that hole, fill it up with fresh air, put a new crew in it, because that's the only damage to it, versus the Millennium Falcon would probably crumple if if it
Yeah,
went
the
that
pressure
way.
of space would turn it into like a tin can, like in a crushed tin can in a heartbeat.
So it entirely comes down to how it's destroyed, and if it's fire, whether it was started outside or inside the ship.
That and like if it was an area that was hit from the outside and the air gets all sucked out and everything as far as like the oxygen that was on the inside, and like an area that they could close off, there's still the trouble that the hole is now, you know, has an open in it, extremely cold. So the damage is going to start coming from the ice that ends up on the on the areas that is still open.
That actually depends on where the ship is.
Yeah, I guess so. That makes sense.
So outside of Earth's atmosphere, it's actually not that cold. Out towards Pluto, absolutely, but
Because we're
within
still
the
semi
asteroid
closer to the sun.
yes, because of relative distance to the sun. Because if you go outside in the middle of summer and it's fucking beating down on you, it's fucking hot. That doesn't stop just because there's no air. That heat is still washing over
Yeah,
that
being
area.
generated and giving you rays like from the sun.
Because
and
it's
you're
radiant
getting-
heat. It's heat doesn't.
Yes.
Yeah, it's radiant heat.
Yeah, the sun
So-
doesn't heat up the air that makes the area hot. It heats up everything around it, which makes the air hot.
Right. So it's still going to be hot there. It's going to be actually hotter and more dangerous outside the Earth's atmosphere
Yeah,
because you
yeah,
have
that's
the
true.
ozone layer protecting you. So depends on if you're like in deep space and not near a star. Absolutely. But if you're within the first 3 planets of our solar system, you won't freeze, but you wouldn't be comfortable either. It would actually be the heat that would be the problem.
It'd be more it'd still be excruciating, but it wouldn't be from like extreme,
But you
super
c-
extreme.
You could have
hypothermia.
extremes. If you're in a shaded area, then you wouldn't be having the sun. So, I mean, you could hit very extreme colds without, if you're in a particularly shaded
Depends on if
area.
you're-
If the
depends
sun's
if
on the other side of where you were.
like if the outside of the ship is designed to not like transfer heat like it's a plastic ship coating, then maybe. But if it's a metal, then it's still gonna conduct heat into the exposed portion.
Well, I'm talking about, say,
Yeah.
a person. If you're spacewalking and you're in an area that's not in a sun area, it would be cold. Because there's nothing for the sun to radiate heat off of. Because remember, the sun, the radiation from the sun is what makes the heat, not what's around you. So if you're not in its view where you're getting rays on you, it will be cold because you're going to go the opposite direction of what the heat would be providing you. Because like the spacesuits are
essentially.
heated and cold. They're chilled for whenever they're in more predominance towards, when they're orbit facing one direction, and they heat them when they're in a different direction from where they're at.
I guess it would depend on the size of the shadow. It would have to be a large shadow.
Oh yeah, you'd have to be encompassed in it. It wouldn't be like your leg or something. I mean,
Yeah, I'm thinking I have to watch some more NASA like stuff on YouTube or something like that, at least to get some heads up on the actual what would happen if you were in this situation.
it's research
Kind of
time.
scenario. Yeah, exactly.
But as for me, I'm going to have to tap out now. I have to get up early to drive all the way to Atlanta.
Are you donating sperm again?
Ninja 6
Oh no, that's
Army.
right. That's Ninja.
Yeah.
Well, I think I
So-
agree. We hit the 2 hour and 20 minute mark, which I think is a record compared to the last couple times. So I think we'll officially end this. I am Allison, aka the Amasia. That's Andrew, aka the Andrew, and I'm just going to say the in front of it. That's Julian, aka the Julian, or
Yeah. done.
or Moonlight Devil. So
Yes.
I'll make the ending much more nicer in the post production. But Twitch stream, see ya. Everybody else, have a good night, and we're out.
Yay.
Night.